I'm a huge fan of Monster Hunter World. When it came out on PC, I was addicted for quite a while. When Iceborne was announced, I was even more excited, only to be incredibly sad at finding out the PC release wouldn't be for 6 months. But I held on, and now I can finally do a quick review of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Iceborne comes with a bunch of new monsters and a whole new zone to explore. Technically there are 2 new zones, but it's hard for me to count the second one as you only get access to it in the end of the campaign. It's the end game zone, if you will. There's also a new town with its own housing area, and that's significantly more customizable. I just wish I had more reason to be in there. After spending a lot of time customizing it, I find myself never going there except to show it off to my stream, which is a bit disappointing. The town is pretty fun and feels cozy. It's like a great place to rest after or before a hunt. You get that nice cold feeling and that nice warm building feeling that it's just super comfy, like going to a ski resort. There's also a whole new gathering hub, which I actually love and find significantly better than the old one. I wanted to be in there more often than not. I kind of wish that there was more reason to have it be populated with other hunters. I would be also remiss if I didn't mention the adorable new chef who cooks our meals. She is the teacher who taught the Meowscular chef how to do his thing. Hoarfrost Reach itself is pretty cool and well laid out. I'd say it's probably my favorite of all the zones, which is saying something. And I really just love the snow aesthetic and the hot springs, the different areas, the hidden areas. I'm just sad that we only get the one until we hit endgame. Also, to my dismay, many missions sent me back to the old world zones, like every other quest. I found it very frustrating. I would do a quest in Hoarfrost Reach, and then I'd get a couple missions to go hunt some dudes for some reason in one of the other zones. And even more to my horror, many of these missions sent me back to the Rotted Vale, which I hate. The Rotten Vale is just ugly and gross. I feel like I can smell it just looking at it, and I can't stand it. There are some new monsters, but the roster is heavily filled out with these subspecies of monsters we've already fought, which generally just meant the same monsters before, but with, like a gimmick or a different element. Generally the same move set, just one gimmick or an elemental difference from, fire to acid or from poison to water. This is not necessarily bad per se, but I often felt annoyed just fighting the same thing again. The new monsters are pretty cool. They look cool. They have cool themes to them, and obviously a lot of them are in the new zone, which I liked. However, the vast majority derive their difficulty by just moving around a lot and jumping everywhere. They also have an insane amount of health, and more than one fight felt exhaustingly long. I don't know why this seems to be a trend in a lot of these online games where the monsters and the bosses just have a ton of health, and that's supposed to add difficulty, but all it does is sort of add a slog. Don't get me wrong, I love a good monster hunt, but sometimes they went on for like 40 minutes and I was just questioning why, even though there was 4 of us just laying into it. Now that said, the new armor sets are cool, and I've enjoyed seeing new takes on old sets thanks to the subspecies thing that I mentioned before. It somewhat redeemed the laziness of rehashing so many old monsters to be able to have a different flavor of the armor sets that I've come to love. Now the story is, well, it's something else. It's in true Monster Hunter style. It continues to be a vague mystery about the ecosystem that gives an excuse to go and wholesale slaughter the local monsters so that I can have that sweet, sweet new set of gear. Every cutscene somehow being about looking into the mystery of what's going on, only for a big meanie to show up. And though often we could probably run away, we clearly actually have no choice but to impale this creature living in its natural habitat liberally with umbrella-sized arrows. Don't get me wrong, I make fun of it, but honestly, I've never been about the story in Monster Hunter. I'm here for big monster, and overall, that's really what I got. I came for big monster, and there's a lot of big monster. And for everyone I hate, I had a fight I really enjoyed. So, overall, I'm happy with my purchase. My only real complaint being that for the price, I think it would have been nice to have gotten 2 new zones alongside the endgame zone. So, if like me, you waited for the PC release of Iceborne and are still unsure, I'd tell you that I give it a recommend. It's worth it, all things considered.